Hello, hello, everybody. We are live here and we're going to be speaking to Holly Hagan. Holly has the most interesting job. When she comes on and starts to talk about it, I'm trying not to shake the table too much. When she comes on and starts to talk about it, I want to know if you knew of this profession because I had no idea before. Okay, here she is. Existed. And she's going to talk to us about it and then how she added coaching to it and what is happening since. So I hope you're really, really excited and enthused to meet Holly. Hi, Holly.
Hi, Hina. How are you?
I'm great. Welcome. It's so great to see you.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
Holly, I told people that you were really in an interesting profession that you've added coaching to. But I didn't know much about this world until we started working together. So, can you tell the people about the world that you are in?
Yeah, so my world is actually in pharmaceutical advertising and specifically where we create the material that sales reps use when they visit doctors to talk about new products that have come to market. So I've been working for 13 years developing this material with healthcare communications agencies. And it was just so amazing to me what a huge world this is, but it's very little known.
Oh my gosh, like Christina saying, Holly is incredible. Yes, she is. So, okay, you know me, Holly. I'm very simple. I need it to be simplified. So where would I see the work that you did? Or would
Okay,
I even see it? Or would I not see it? Or is it for
that's
like
just
medical?
it. As a consumer, as a regular citizen, you're not likely to see the work unless you were going online looking up information about maybe a specific disease condition. And in those cases, maybe you would see a website that I wrote the copy for that was sponsored by a pharmaceutical company. That's probably the closest that a regular sort of citizen would come to seeing the material. Most of what I work on is specifically for healthcare professional audiences and also patients. So that's people who've actually been prescribed a specific drug product.
Okay, I want to know, like, let me know in the comments if you knew of this niche. What is it? Is it called medical copywriting?
Yes, so that's what it's called, medical copywriting, but I find that that's a sort of hard concept to grasp
Yeah.
for people who are new to it. So I use the phrase promotional medical writing, and I think that's the closest that it gets because it is promotional and it's medical writing, so it's both.
Oh my gosh. By the way, if you're listening to this and you're in an industry that not a lot of people know about, let me know because I love learning about new things. Gosh, you must know a lot, Holly. Like, I'm just thinking sometimes an episode of Grey's Anatomy, I don't know what the heck they're saying half the time. And I know when the actors, I've heard the actors talk on shows like that where they've got to memorize it and they're the authority in it and have to talk about it like they know it and just even the terminology and the language. So it's so fascinating to do a deep dive into a world that it's not common language that we would use every day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Fascinating. And so, how big is this industry?
Well, the industry is huge globally. I think the last statistic I saw was in the US, healthcare communications is a $6.5 billion industry, and that's just in the US alone.
Wow. And so, who are the people that get into this industry? I mean, I guess it's you,
Yeah.
but like, yeah, like who are the people that gravitate towards this?
Well, so many people come to it from different areas, and partly because they didn't know that it existed to begin with. So they went for training in other careers and then they kind of stumble across it. Like myself, I came to it from working in a science lab. I then got hired and started to get trained in what advertising was all about. But people can come to it from journalism backgrounds, English backgrounds, really any kind of background where you just have that desire to learn and that interest in learning more and applying your skills in different ways.
Okay. And so I know that you now want to help those that are deciding to do this or that have been doing it and want to take it to the next level. So what is your vision? And before you answer that, everybody that is listening to this, think about your own industry and what you could do to move the needle in your own industry or to take it further than it has gone before. So how are you doing that, Holly?
Well, my goal is to change the healthcare communication industry, and that's by two main things right now, and that's through coaching people who are working in the healthcare communication agencies, whether it's medical writers or graphic designers, freelancers, even agency teams. I coach them in the material in Khan method coaching so they can apply that to their daily lives. And the other way I'm changing it is from the very foundational training of medical copywriters to begin with. So I'm building an academy that actually launches next week for medical copywriters to get up to speed on the foundational aspects so they can contribute to their teams in greater ways right from the beginning.
I love that. And part of your getting prepared to be able to work this way with clients was taking Khan method coaching, was adding coaching to it. And again, not something I necessarily would have thought of. So how, and Kim says, congrats. Isn't that great, Kim, what Holly is doing? So good. So how has adding coaching to this made a difference in your work and changing the industry?
It's made a difference in a way that I can share the learnings and the information that really helped me get to where I am with other people, because I know that the Khan method practice is very powerful. And so being able to actually teach that to other people so that they can apply it to their lives the way I have, that's been really fulfilling.
And you've had group coach. You're starting. You've got your agent. What did you just
My
call?
team,
You've
my
got
team coaching.
you've got your team coaching.
Yeah.
You've got individual coaching that you've done.
Yes.
You've and then you're creating some self-study as well, an academy
Yes.
as well. Okay, and when did you graduate?
Well, it's been a year now. I think I was
It's
in Toronto at the beginning of July last year for our
for
graduation ceremony.
graduation. So in 1 year, by taking a coaching program, it allowed you to create all of these different vehicles for you to be able to impact people in the industry that you're passionate about, and that people can meet you where they are. For some, it might be a self-study. For others, it might be doing one-on-one with you. For others, they're an agency and they want to take their team through it. And what I love about what you offer, again, which is very different to other people in your industry or even doing copywriting and in general, is the mindset piece. What have you noticed when it comes to mindset and working with these people?
Well, I find a sort of pattern, which I think is not really unique to my industry, but it's that those feelings of inferiority or self-consciousness those feelings that you get when you start off with something new. And I've been able to help writers write when they're feeling those feelings and help them work through them and just change how they think about themselves at the foundational level again, so that those feelings don't really become a regular part of who they are.
Oh my gosh, I love that. And here's the thing, most people would not include that in their work because, well, first of all, they wouldn't feel qualified to be able to tackle it because if they didn't have the training for it, and they would be sticking to strategy. But as we know, the strategy doesn't matter if you don't have the mindset. It's 95% mindset and 5% strategy. So the fact that you can help these people with their mindset means that whatever they are putting out is coming from a different energy and is so powerful. Oh my gosh, I just love that. And part of what we do in Khan Method coaching, and one of the things that we're going to talk about on July 26th, we have a free masterclass. And it's about becoming a confident and profitable coach. And if you want to be there, just type KMC, those 3 letters, in the comment, and we'll get you the link to this free masterclass. As you can see, for Holly, she's very confident to help somebody navigate their own self-doubt so that they can put out something really meaningful, really important, and have the right energy behind it. But you've also seen from Holly all of the things that she's created. She's created a self-study program. She's created a program to work with teams. She's got private coaching. She's got an academy that's starting up. Not to mention the articles that she writes. She's very active on LinkedIn. This is the part about being confident and profitable. And so you want to be comfortable in talking about your services, in sharing your services. So if that's something that you're thinking, I wonder if I could add coaching to what I already do, or I'm a leader, put KMC in the comments and we will get you the link for that free masterclass. And Holly, what is the most satisfying part for you when you're coaching?
Well, I have to say, and I know we talked about it in the coaching, in the program, but when the person like gets it, and then you can see that they're like, oh, they sort of have that aha moment, and to just be there when they have that and not going like, yeah, I told ya, nothing like that, but just to allow them to come to that sort of realization or decision or whatever it is on their own, and to just be there when it happens. I'm not always there when it happens, but it's just really, really amazing, and it's such a privilege to witness.
Yeah, and you know what? Again, I love how you are bringing something new to the niche, and that, with everybody getting to know themselves better, being able to work through any self-sabotage, any blocks, that is how you really are changing the industry. And again, it's not an industry that I would have necessarily thought of for coaching. And when you talk about the mindset piece, how is it received in this industry? Is this new for them?
It is new. And I have to say, I was a little bit nervous as well when I started talking about this to my network, because a lot of my network has been trained in science and they have 1 or 2 or 3 science degrees. And now here I am talking about beliefs and your subconscious mind and all these sort of intangible concepts that are almost like go against like the practical things you learn in science. But it's been really well received, and I say, like, so in this coaching program we're going to talk about things like this, and I list off these kind of topics and self-concept, and people are like, yeah, sounds good.
Yes.
Like they are ready to receive that.
Oh my gosh, you're so right. It's like we may have our own beliefs which we also call paradigms, about the industry. And that can have us not share things like this because we'll think, well, they come from a science background. They may not be open to it. But what I feel I'm also finding more and more, Holly, is that not only are people open, they're like lapping it up, they're drinking it up. It was that missing piece for them. And if you, as a leader, as a coach, as a consultant, can help them with that missing piece, that missing piece may just be a razor's edge, but what it does in that person's life, what it does for your team, where it takes you, that can be a quantum leap in simply understanding this. That's what I find. What do you think about that, Holly?
Oh, I fully agree about that missing piece aspect, that feeling that you're searching for something and you just don't know what it is. And that's when I first started working with you. I was freelancing as a medical copywriter, but there was something missing. Like I was just looking for that. And then that's when you and I started working one-on-one together. And it really did feel like it provided that additional information and sort of system that I needed to take my business to the next level and ultimately to where it is today.
So when we do the free masterclass, and you can put KMC in the comments if you would like to be at that free masterclass, there's a recording. So if you can't make it on the day, it's next week, you'll get the recording. And we're going to go through some of the concepts that we talk about in KMC. And I am curious. So Holly and I have not talked before this about what we're going to talk about. So she's not been able to prepare for this question. I am curious of what lesson stands out to you the most, and it could be more than one, in the coaching program.
Yeah, so many lessons are important, are stand out, but the initial story that you talk about, the elephant and the fly, and I know if you haven't taken it, you don't really know about the elephant and the fly, or the flying ants, whatever it was called. That really helps me to visualize what's going on conceptually when I'm talking with a coachee, is just sort of identify, like taking that time to listen and validate and just see about identifying the elephant without jumping right into advice and do this and do that, is that you just want to listen. And that even just listening to someone when they need to be heard, that is just so powerful for everyone.
And you know what? If you're like, what the heck is this fly and this elephant? On July 26th in the free masterclass, and Sharon put KMC, and if you're interested, put KMC and we'll send you the link. On July 26th, that is one of the things we're going to talk about. We're going to unpack the fly and the elephant. And it's interesting. There are many people that come to work with me through KMC that are coaches and have coaching practices. But that's the first module, is all about the fly and the elephant, because it's so important. And they are blown away by it. They're like, oh my gosh. And even just the imagery of it, it's like, okay, I get it. And now I'm like, am I talking to this client's fly or am I talking to the elephant? Like, what it can help to put things in perspective. I really love that too. I also love when we talk about like consciously listening, and asking powerful questions as well, which all ties to the fly and the elephant. And of course, this has enhanced your professional life tremendously. You've now got all of these new silos, these new ways that you're serving people through coaching, all of these new things that you've created within 12 months. It's amazing. How has it affected you personally, this material, knowing this?
Yeah. Well, personally, that's that idea about the fly and the elephant is also something that I use on myself when I'm like, let's say that I'm sort of upset about something or annoyed about something. I just try to look for like, what am I really annoyed at or upset with? Is it really just this sort of little thing here, or like what's the elephant that that is sort of disguised as a fly at this moment? So I do have my business immersed in this material, but it translates so seamlessly into just everyday life.
Absolutely. I think that's the best part of it, is that it just becomes a part of who you are and how you are listening to people in general,
Yeah.
and how you are being with others in general, not only with your clients, but with your children, with a partner, with your family. And then it simply becomes a way of being in the world. I think that's also been the big difference for me and what I see. Holly, I love how you've taken the coaching, applied it to this amazing niche that I didn't know about. Is there anything else that you would like to say about your experience in KMC and your coaching business?
Well, I really appreciated in KMC that we had the practice opportunity where we did peer-to-peer coaching, and that really was so beneficial because I was actually surprised at the emotions that it brought up in me when I did my first coaching session with my partner, my peer partner. And I was glad that I did that with a peer partner because I was just overcome with these emotions, and I thought, I'm so glad my partner understands because we're doing this together, as opposed to it being my first client and then, you know, being overcome. So that peer-to-peer practice was really helpful and really powerful, and that's actually where my idea for the course started taking shape. And it was my partner who said, like, why don't you do it? Like, why don't you make the post? Or I can't even remember what the phrase was that she said, but it was that like one little thing. And I was like, okay. And I just put out a LinkedIn post, and over the year it's now a self-paced medical copywriting academy.
Amazing. From that idea to academy. That is absolutely incredible. The other thing that we do is the sales simulations. And that is also really important because as you're creating these courses, these ideas of ways you want to work with people, you've got to be able to sell it. You've
Yeah.
got to be able to sit down with somebody and share your services and tell them what the investment is.
Yeah.
And many people I find, including myself at one point, I was so comfortable in the coaching. The selling terrified me. I had judgments around selling. I actually felt that it was kind of slimy and icky and I didn't want to do it. So we had a bit of a problem because it's hard to grow a business if you are not comfortable talking about your services, pricing your services, or selling your services. I don't know if anybody can relate to that. So that's also a very important part of what we talk about. And you can put KMC in the comments if you want to join us for our free masterclass where we do talk about selling your services. Because knowing the theory is all well and good. But if you can't sell, then you don't have clients. And it can be very uncomfortable, but it's a safe place to have those sales simulations. And you'll notice we say sales simulations. It's real. Like you are going in it as real. It's not like I'm role playing. You're really sharing your services, and that's a part of the program. How was that part for you, Holly?
I really, I really liked that part as well. And I had been introduced, and I think by you, a number of years ago, to that idea of role playing in
Yeah.
sales. So I had been role playing for my previous business and doing those sales simulation calls. So when it came time to do the sales simulation for KMC, it felt really natural, and overall it was a really great experience.
Yeah, I love it. And most people, you know, they're scared to say their price. They don't even know what to charge, because maybe they also worked in an industry where somebody was getting a product or something else that they were selling. So selling your services puts a whole nother layer of scared.
Yeah.
Puts a whole nother layer of, oh my gosh, my stomach is like doing flip-flops right now. So Holly, let's say there's somebody listening to this right now that is actually curious about medical copywriting and wants to know what the heck it is, and maybe this is their next thing that they want to do. What is the best way for them to connect with you?
Well, definitely LinkedIn is a great way. I love using LinkedIn, so I'm always on there. You can certainly connect with me on Instagram too. And my website is topmedicalwriter.com, and that's where my coaching and course and mentorship is all, you can find information about that there as well.
Amazing, Holly. Holly, thank you so much. I have to tell you, it's such a privilege to watch what you've created in 1 year. Just as we rhymed all of those things off, that all came from you and an idea, and you are changing things in the industry. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you, Hina.
And thank you all for joining, whether you're listening live or to the replay. And get in touch with Holly, and be sure to join us for our masterclass next week. Okay, everyone, bye for now.
Bye.